Welcome to White Pill Media. This is Dr. Infinity, and I'm in, I guess, a shitty mood this week. So I did decide to check out Rome. I had someone on my Sharp review series recommend it, so I thought, oh, why the fuck not? And it's kind of what I thought it was going to be, but there were some... So I didn't end up liking Rome overall, but there were some good parts to it. There were some parts I really did enjoy, and I kept thinking about, if they just changed it up a little bit, I think it could have really been a phenomenal series. One thing about the series was I think John Milius was a producer on it, and I really like him. He did Conan the Barbarian. He did Hardcore, which is a movie I just watched. I have a little review up for it. Great movie. And I think like Red Dawn and some other stuff like that. He's a good director and I guess kind of producer and that type of guy. I like him. I don't know a ton about Rome. I've read like one book on like Roman history. It was about Scipio Africanus in the Second Punic War. That was really good. I really enjoyed that book. That was great. I played Rome Total War a lot when I was younger. A lot. That and Medieval 2 Total War. Those were my jam. But I don't know, a ton about it. I kind of have a basic history. I think most people have like a basic history. And I definitely like to know more. This show made me more interested in checking stuff out. But I guess we'll just start with stuff I liked. I think Pompey, he had a great actor. He had some really great dramatic moments. Caesar, also, you had a really good actor. Great stuff with him. Brutus... And you have some, good actors like that. Mark Antony, I hated him for the majority of the show. He just kind of felt excessive and unrealistic, definitely at parts, just overdone. But him and Cleo towards the end, him and Cleo in Egypt at the end, that was great. He had some really good acting and some really solid moments there. Anyway, I really did not care for our two kind of title characters and the guys that move around the show, Titus Pullo and Lucius Varanus. Really started to dislike both of them. It was pretty early on that I started to dislike them, and it just kind of got worse as the show went on. And the newsreader's great. I'm going to have a little compilation of all the bits of him on another video on the channel. He's fantastic. No complaints with him whatsoever. So I'm probably just going to go episode by episode. One thing I want to say, and this might be me overstating it, but in Marvel movies where they kind of just undercut their dramatic and serious moments with like quips or with humor, just so the scene doesn't take itself too seriously, just so the audience doesn't get too invested, because if you start taking yourself seriously, then you open yourself up to like more criticism. Does that make sense? Everyone's afraid to be sincere, in modern Marvel movies. That's what it feels like to me, where it's like you don't really have dramatic moments. You have some, but it's usually trying to take itself less seriously. And for HBO, and obviously this doesn't apply to all their shows, but I felt like with Rome it did, where you have some really great historical stuff and some dramatic moments, but it feels like with Rome that your serious and dramatic moments are usually undercut with like, hey, here's an orgy scene. Hey, here's some nudity. Hey, here's some sex. And look, if you look at some of the thumbnails on my channel, I'm not really opposed to nudity here and there. I'm not opposed to attractive women or anything like that. But with Rome, it's just like the shit I like is like Pompey, Caesar, the senators, this stuff, the historical stuff, and then it's just like orgy scene, hey, we're in a brothel, this, that, it's like fuck off, get back to Caesar. That's kind of what my general thoughts were with the series overall. It's like you have this really great stuff going on, and then it's just like, here's some bullshit that I don't care about. It's like, here's a woman washing her breasts, and it's like, I don't fucking care, it's like it's oversaturated. I would say the show is definitely oversaturated with nudity and sex. And I'm sure there was plenty of that in ancient Rome and all that. But you're kind of crippling the story with this shit. That's how I felt. Episode 1's just kind of a setup episode, but I think it does it fine. It's interesting, and you kind of see how Pompey and Caesar were friends, and they were bonded together by the marriage of Caesar's daughter to him. And it's like, this is cool. This is good stuff. Second episode, Mark Antony just starting out. It's just like, it's like fucking hell. Like, he's just fucking a chick against a tree, and the scene goes on for like, 30 seconds, a minute, or whatever, and it's like, fuck off, Fuck off, let's get back to the show. Because, like, what is this ad here? I don't know. I don't know. I usually feel like most sex scenes in that are just really unnecessary, and it's like, what did this add exactly? I'm not against, like, a beautiful woman or whatever, but I'm like, you're taking time away from, like, the more interesting historical stuff. Does that make sense? Varenus goes home, and it's like, is he a cuck? Is he not a cuck? And, it turns out that he is, and the entire fucking season, this is going to be in the background. It's quote-unquote interesting drama. It's not interesting. But it goes on for the entire fucking season, I couldn't believe that shit. I couldn't believe how much time was wasted on Varenus and his wife and all that bullshit. I don't fucking care, I don't care about these characters. They're not interesting. Anyway, yeah, it's just, there's some sex scenes here and there. There's Caesar's declared an outlaw, and he has this really good image of him at the camp, and they cross the Rubicon at the end, and that's all really great stuff. That's more of the shit that I wanted to see in the show, and I'm glad, the parts that are there we get to see. I like how slaves are treated in the show. It's just kind of creepy. Like, they're used to, like, footstools to, like, step onto a horse, and they're just, like, in the background. And characters will carry on a full conversation with their slaves right there, but they don't care because they're not really, like, people, It's like they're objects. And I'm like, that's good. That's realistic. Or I think it is, right? With how they would have treated slaves and how brutal and ugly that was. Pompey and the rest are considering fleeing the city, and this is all good shit. This is what I like, and then we have just more shit with Varenus and his wife. Don't care, I'm probably going to say I don't care a lot in this video. Sorry about that. Episode 4, at the very end, you have Caesar smiling at the temple because he's paid them off, and, they're giving him a good omen, and it's just like, that's good, nice stuff. Episode 5's great. You have Pompey and the rest, they're accepting terms, and they just look so defeated. Like, there's just this great ebb and flow with them and their side as, it's like things are going great. Holy fuck. Things are going good again. Great.
My dear friend, Gaius, how we come to this absurd position? In the interests of peace and equity, I accept.
The Senate and people of Rome have authorized me to accept.
The Senate and people of Rome have authorized me to accept a truce.
No, not truce. That would imply that he is a sovereign rather than a criminal entity.
Quite right. A criminal.
Have authorized me to accept a cessation of hostilities on the terms offered in your last letter. I await your answer.
Good enough.
Good enough. This abject humiliation is good enough.
I liked Pompey on the beach, and he's like just drawing figures in the sand, and that's what he does later with Varenus when he and Pula find him in. Pompey flees to Egypt, and then he gets killed, but he and Varenus, he shows him like how he lost the Republic in that battle and how badly it went for him, and it's really good. I guess it's a little foreshadowing, or it's just a nice little character trait for Pompey. Episode 6, it's like Pompey has fled to Greece, Caesar's following him, Antony is left behind, and we're following around two boring guys when we could be elsewhere. It's 25 minutes into the episode before we see Caesar, and Pompey's now gained the upper hand, and Now the show gets a little more weird with like the sex shit because Octavian picks a whore that really, really resembles his sister, and I'm like, please don't fucking do, incest in this fucking show. Please, please don't do incest. I know in like Roman history, there's like probably some incest that happened with like maybe Nero and maybe some of the other emperors, but from what I looked up, Octavian and his sister, like, there's really no evidence for it, so it's like, I don't know why this is fucking happening. Atia is also weird, where she's, like, bathing in the nude, and she's calling for her son to come in. It's like, I don't know. This shit gives me, like, weird vibes. Episode 7's great. We have I don't like that the battle happens off screen, but even just focusing on the aftermath of the battle and what it's done to Pompey is great. Him and Varanus, that's really wonderful, and like the little music there, it's dramatic, it's good, it's very sad, and this is what I really wanted from the show.
I must ask you, sir, if I may, how did you come to this road? Surely Pompey had Caesar at greater disadvantage.
He did. Didn't seem possible to lose. It's always a bad sign. The battlefield was on a plain, by a river, at the foot of some low hills. Like this, you see. The lines met here. My men held their ground well. So I sent my horses at his right flank, which is perfectly correct, you'll agree?
I do.
Only the cowards were repulsed by a single cohort of reserves, turned and fled, 200 horses, crashed directly into my left flank, rolled up my line like a carpet, put the whole damned army to flight. And here I am. That's how Pompey Magnus was defeated. It's how the Republic died.
Good night, sir.
I hated Octavia and Servilia because what I was hoping for is just because Atia and Octavia don't get along and they kind of have a fucked up relationship, and Octavia doesn't have the kind of mother figure that she wants and needs, that Servilia would kind of act like that and she would have some kind of familial relationship. But of course this is HBO and they turn it into this like big age gap lesbian thing. And it's like, you couldn't just have it be like a surrogate mother-daughter relationship. You know what I mean? You just couldn't have it be that. I don't know. Whatever. 8th episode, we have some good stuff with Caesar and, what's happened with Pompey. We have he was a consul of Rome and all that.
He was a consul of Rome!
There. There's for your payment.
So sorry.
His Majesty forgets he's a vassal to Rome.
Vassal? Vassal? I am no vassal. I am king.
Sit down! Thank you.
Cleopatra, the actress, was cute. I don't think Cleopatra was cute in real life, but whatever. The actress is nice. But again, she's just addicted to drugs. She wants to fuck Varanus, and then she wants to fuck Polo, and then Polo does fuck her, and you don't even know why? You don't even know why she's making herself pregnant for Caesar? I don't fucking get it. And it just ruins like what little there is between Caesar and her later on. It's just, I don't know. Is this show just about cuckery? Because it is Polo's kid, It's established later on that that's Polo's son. And you're like, fucking Christ, why? Why does HBO do this shit? Ninth episode is good. We have Scipio and Cato. They're like the last remnants of those that opposed Caesar, and they just lost a battle. And, you know, I heard the name Scipio, and it made me think back to Scipio Africanus, the guy, the book about the guy that I read. And I think they are part of the same family. I just did a quick Wikipedia search, but it seems like this guy's like a long descendant from that Scipio. But that's really cool, you know, that's really interesting Roman history. But their suicide, that was sad.
We should go.
Night is coming.
They sleep standing up, you know. Elephants.
Again, like more shit like this is what I want. And then in this episode, we have Octavius seducing Octavian. And it's just like, fucking hell. It's like, why? You know, oh my God, I don't fucking get it. And also with this little incest thing, the characters never bring it up again. It's like it doesn't happen outside of this episode. You know, it's just bizarre. It's like, if it's not going to be a thing, then don't do it. Don't show it, right? Why are you bothering if it's not going to have an effect on the characters or anything? The 10th is the Triumph. This is sweet. I liked Brutus, you know, I liked Caesar. I know he's from the Terror and from some other stuff, I guess, but I only really recognize him from the Terror. I like Caesar having the blood on his face. Just a lot of the imagery in this episode is really beautiful. This is just like really wonderful, and it looks fantastic. Polo decides to free the slave girl that he's into and he saved a while ago, and then it is revealed that one of the slaves and her want to get married, and then he beats the slave to death, and the woman watches, and then that's a hell of an overreaction. And it's just like, I know that they have a different morality and different like values for that time period, but beating a guy to death, like I'm not into him as a character, you know. I don't want to see him succeed after that because he just did something incredibly fucked up and evil. And it's even more bizarre when this woman ends up with him later on. It's just, I don't know who the fucking writers are. I don't get it. I don't get it. The 11th one, nothing much happens except it's just like more kind of contrived shit, you know, where Pullo is now condemned to die in the arena, and he and Varanus jumps him to save his life, and they're like the best gladiator fighters ever, and it's just piling on more and more unbelievable shit for what are supposed to be two average Romans, you know, just two average Roman men, and it's not believable. I don't know. I don't get it. I also don't like that Varanus knows that Polo knows that Varanus, that his wife has betrayed him, even though I would say it's not really her fault. I wouldn't say it was like malicious, but it is incredibly fucked up that your plan is to lie to your husband for the rest of your life. You know, you're going to deceive him for the rest of your fucking life. That's evil too. You know, that's also fucked up, but everyone isn't going to do anything about it. I don't know. I'm not agreeing with like Varanus like killing his wife and like his children. That's obviously going too far, but you know, like he has feelings too. This is obviously going to hurt him when he finds out. Narabi, I don't care. She ends up killing herself, and then you know we have Caesar dying, and yeah, it's Caesar's death is good, but you know it's like good historical shit, and then, hey, remember this cuckold plot that's going on for like 12 fucking episodes? Well, here it is again. You know, you have to pair that shit up with just normal episodes, like just the good stuff. Antony talking to Brutus, this is good stuff, you know.
The tyrant is dead. Surely the people should be happy. Where is the cheering throng at your door? Where are the joyous cries of liberty?
The people fear change. Somber mood is only natural.
When they realize they are free from tyranny, the people will be glad.
The people loved Caesar. And they will hate you for what you've done.
They loved him once.
Antony, yeah, again, he's too extreme. Like, he's too much of a character, he's too, I guess I'd call him like Flanderized, he says like, I won't rise from this bed until I fucked someone. And it's like, wow, that's rowdy, that's just crazy. Later on, Polo and Varenus, they kill a tavern full of people. And it's just like, you keep stacking up how unbelievable this shit really is. It's just whatever. Second episode, Cleo comes to visit Rome. That Jewish character that serves audio, now he's like a story character now. Now he has a plot. I don't fucking get it. Varenus is like a crime lord. I don't care. Just, he's a crime lord and shit. It's just like, drop it. Just fucking drop it. Boring. Third episode, Octavia's like smoking hemp and shit. We get to see Agrippa, who I believe is Tom from Downton Abbey. So that's something, I guess. Senators are trying to help start the fight against Antony, and they go to like Eastern Turkey, right? It's like Brutus and another guy, and they go to Eastern Turkey, and this guy just keeps bringing up wanting to watch a Roman woman get fucked by a baboon. And it's like, okay, we're deciding the fate of the Roman Empire, or I guess the Roman Republic at this point. And, this could be really beneficial for your people if you pick the right side, but you do nothing but talk about wanting to watch a woman get fucked by a baboon. And it's like, I don't know what this shit is. Is it just supposed to be wacky and depraved? But it really takes me out of the show. You know what I mean? Just shit like that. Stupid. Just stupid.
That those that help us now will have good friends in Rome when Mark Antony, the traitor, is deposed. Very good friends. And it's only a matter of time. With or without your help, we shall raise an army. We shall. Antony's head will rot on a spike.
There are Roman women who are fucked by baboons.
Excuse me?
I've heard shows where such things can be seen.
Well, they're not so much shows, really. They're more a punishment.
I should like to see that. We do not have such in Bithynia.
I should imagine it's simply a matter of training the baboons.
We have no baboons here. No apes of any kind.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. So, as I say, those who help us now...
Yes. You want my money to raise an army. I want to see a Roman woman fucked by baboons.
Perhaps arrangements can be made.
Fourth episode, we have like some really contrived crap so Accio doesn't Accio doesn't eat poison by having her slave sing for her, which is just like, wow, that's convenient. Why have this poison plot at all if it's just going to be defeated in such a unconvincing way, in an unsatisfying way? I guess Varenus got his kids back from the slavers. I don't care. In 5 and 6, we have some stuff happening. Like Cicero's messenger gets stopped by Varenus and Varenus and his family, and he drops the scroll, and it's like, what are the fucking odds? It's just like, just don't put that in the show. Don't have either Cicero's guy like at all, or have Cicero's guy get stopped some other way. But don't have Varenus' family being directly responsible for leading to the downfall of Brutus in Greece. Don't fucking do that. Brutus dies like Caesar. He's surrounded, but I think in real life he ended up committing suicide, which is whatever, I'd probably care more if there was less stupid shit in the episode. In episode 5 and episode 6, I don't think there was a newsreader for either episode. I think I have all of the newsreader clips. I tried to write down every time he appeared, but I have it that he doesn't appear in the 5th or the 6th episode. Correct me if I'm wrong, because he's one of the only consistently good parts of the show. 7th episode, Brutus is dead. There's a side plot with Varenus' daughter and some random guy that's a part of the other like mafia faction, and it's boring. It's so boring. Polo cheats on his wife with this whore, Servilla curses Atia and then she kills herself. I don't care. And then, we have so that one whore ends up putting shit in Polo's wife's drinks, so she'll miscarry, and it ends up killing her, and it's like incredibly fucking evil, just really fucking wow. This Gangs of New York crap at the end, where it was just more funny than believable, where it's just like they all size each other up like it's like Gangs of fucking New York, which I didn't really care for. It was just a little too like fantastical for me. And you also have the whore woman that killed Polo's wife there, and she's fighting as well, which is even more unbelievable. I liked the 9th episode with Antony trying to start war by withholding grain and all that. And his overall plan to force him to turn away Octavia, and then this can be his prelude for war. Good stuff there. I like that. But then at the end you have the whore that no one cares about, that she was just trying to sleep around and like gain power. She dies, she loses the baby, and she confesses to her crimes, and then Polo ends up choking her out. It's just wasting time on this shit. In the 10th, we have the aftermath of that naval battle where Antony is obviously lost. So we have this intimate talk between Cleo and Antony about considering suicide because they've lost, they're going to be humiliated if they don't kill each other or kill themselves. But in the background is an orgy scene. And it's like, why? Why can't you just let this be like a serious and an important moment between these two characters, and instead you just have to put it in the background with all this shit going around in the front? I don't know. I guess you could argue that it's just to show like how kind of depraved they are and they're trying to distract themselves from what's actually happening. But with all the unnecessary nudity and sex scenes already in the show, it just feels like more of the same. Does that make sense? Cleo crying in front of the mirror and him drunk in his armor trying to duel people is good. It's just sad and it's pathetic and it's really good stuff. That's what I liked. I liked Antony having a breakdown over Cleo's suicide. I thought that was great. I really did. I thought that was really good acting from his character.
Dearest love, forgive me for leaving you this way. You know how I hate to say goodbye. I will see you again on the other side. Please, come quickly.
But, it's just there are too many earlier scenes of him just being like a kind of worthless asshole for me to care too much about here. It's like, here was some good acting. Here was an actual character. Why not more of this? Why not more of this? And him committing suicide, that's also good. But of course they have to subvert it a little, where Cleo lied to him and is still alive, and she did it to save herself. So of course you have to subvert their love, right? Because HBO, there's no love on this show. Everyone's a piece of shit. Everyone's an asshole. Everyone's trying to betray you. So no love. We have to subvert it. Octavian ends up on the throne, and like the last line for from the show is from Polo, and it's to the boy, and it's, listen, about your father. And it's like, of course the series is going to end with cuckoldry, and it's going to be from one of the two characters I don't give a fuck about. Anyway, I would say great stuff with Pompey, Caesar, Brutus has some good stuff, the senators have some good stuff. Those are the great parts. The newsreader, also, he's fantastic. There's some really great imagery and such. But way too much random sex shit that just doesn't go anywhere. There's so many like non-side plots. Like the Jewish guy, he just kind of fucks off. Servilla and Atia, that's just boring and it doesn't really go anywhere. The incest shit, the one whore woman at the end, the slave girl that still marries Polo and loves him, it's just like random and it doesn't make sense. There are a lot of contrivances as well. And yeah, I think if you just had like one season or just less episodes, but just focused on like the historical and the military guys, it would be a great series. I really would have loved it. Anyway, I don't really recommend the show. I am going to check out I, Claudius, which is about a later Roman emperor. I don't know really much of anything about him, but it's like a highly rated show, so I'm really interested. I hope it's going to be decent. And I'm going to probably review that next week. I might have some other shit going on. I don't really know, but I'm looking forward to it. And, I have some other shit on my channel, some other reviews. Sharp, that's a TV series I would recommend. It's a British soldier during the Napoleonic Wars. Great stuff. It has Sean Bean, a lot of other actors too. In fact, the newsreader from Rome plays a character in Sharp. Only for one episode, though. Anyway, thanks for coming by. Dr. Infinity out.